job is it to restore and take care of nature? Why shouldn't we just let nature take its course? Today, we're going to get some of these questions answered as well as others as we join a morning of adventure, fun, and stewardship with the Friends of Lower Lake, a local community conservation group dedicated to restoring the natural ecosystems of the parklands of where I am right now at Lower Lake at the Shaker and Cleveland Heights border along a dammed section of Doan Brook. Before we get started though, go ahead and hit like and subscribe so that you never miss your dose of nature in the city. Let's see what they're up to. The Shaker Lakes are not actual lakes, but are reservoirs created in the 1800s by the North Union Shaker community, a group of communal and celibate dwellers that settled and dammed parts of the Doan Brook Valley to operate grist mills. Lower Shaker Lake, as it is known today, is now parkland managed by the cities of Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights, in between North Park Boulevard and South Park Boulevard, east of Coventry Road. The Lower Lake area became a fine recreation area with a boathouse, a wildflower garden near the dam, and elegant walking paths. The Great Depression led to the decline of many of the features of the park, but some of the foundations of old structures remain. In the 1960s, a huge threat emerged. Plans for the Clark and Lee freeways were to cut right through the Shaker parklands, including Lower Lake. Local activists, many of them garden club members and mothers, rose up to protect the land they loved. Their victory was sealed in 1970 when freeway plans were officially dropped. However, many parts of the Shaker Lakes remained neglected and undermanaged, especially with the prevalence of non-native invasive plant species. Tight municipal budgets and staffing made it challenging to keep up with critical park maintenance. And this is where the Friends of Lower Lake came in, a group of concerned local residents that understood the need to restore the natural habitats around the lake and Doan Brook, and who were ready to fill that role. Let's hear from them and see what they do.
The Friends of Lower Lake is a 7-year-old volunteer organization. It's an organization that was formed with the understanding that the cities can't keep up with all the parkland maintenance that needs to be done. The Friends of Lower Lake was a group that said, we can't come back once a year and make progress in removing invasive species, but what we can do is we can get a group of like-minded volunteers together to come back week after week, work at Lower Lake, and then expand that out into our own yards.
Well, this was it is now a pollinator garden, 100% native to Northeast Ohio plants. There's no city officials that maintain this bed. This is all maintained by Friends of Lower Lake, which consists of all volunteers from the communities that surround the lake. I mean, not only those communities, but there's people that come from the west side, far east side, every Sunday morning to work at Lower Lake. My colleague here has reminded me that in the background, I should add, that we have a beautiful St. John's wort. It's a shrub with the yellow flowers, and it's just buzzing with bees and insects, and that's exactly why this garden is here, is to help encourage insects that are that we need for the lower part of our food chain to maintain our food chain.
From an ecological perspective, removing invasive species which have a tendency to become monocultures and replacing them with a mixed group of native plants provides homes and pollen and nectar for a wide variety of insects. We have to get away from the monoculture of grass and vinca and Japanese honeysuckle and barberry, and instead go to something that our insects that have been here for tens of thousands of years can recognize and make their homes.
I know that on Sunday mornings when people walk by on the path, which is just adjacent to the garden, we have a lot of people with positive response, thanking us for our work and, thanking us for the garden.
The most important thing to me is that the bulk of our volunteers are self-selected. So we have publicized the fact that we're a group of volunteers doing parkland stewardship. And people come and they work with us for a week or 2 weeks for a month, and they say, we like this. We'd like to continue. We'd like to do more. And as a result, the core group of people, self-selected, are a group of people that like what we're doing and will come back again and again.
My name is Tammy Masuoka. I've been volunteering with Friends of Lower Lake. This is my, I think, 4th or 5th summer. I started working with the group during COVID to try to do something positive with the community. I was working on my master's in conservation biology at the time, so I wanted something community-based. So I found this group, and the group pretty much saved my life during COVID because it was a pretty depressing time. So it's been a great group of people to work with.
So we are working on the Old Shaker Garden Club wildflower garden, working on restoring it, restoring a path right now so that it can have access for all of the visitors that want to come along here. So we're creating a path, we're removing invasives, and just trying to neaten things up a little bit. There's a lot of therapy in pulling any kind of weed and vine, so it can be therapy for my spirit and therapy for the planet, and that's probably one of my favorite things.
There are volunteer stewardship efforts all over the east side of Cleveland. We have a number of spin-off groups from the Friends of Lower Lake, like the Friends of Impet Park and the Friends of the Walt over in University Heights, who are people that we have used our model to say, you can do this in a park that you care about. The piece of advice is come talk with us, come work with us, come sit with us in a mass of invasive plants and talk about what you'd like to do and what we're doing here and how appropriate it is. One of the things that's so difficult to do is to talk about this kind of work in an office or someplace else. We really need to be out in the woods, out in the invasive species, out in the pollinator gardens to say the inspiration comes from being on site. And so if we just let nature take its course, we end up with monocultures of invasive species and a significant loss in biodiversity. Letting nature take its course doesn't work. We have to be guides, we have to be volunteers, we have to work hard to steer that. One of the efforts that's very critical to doing work in public parklands is to talk to the cities that own those public parklands or the county and say, what is it that you require in the way of permits, in the way of training for us to work, and build the relationship from there to say, could you help us here? We'll help you there. Can you advise us here? We'll advise you there. What doesn't work is to stand back and say, we don't need you, we're just going to go ahead and work. We need to build those relationships primarily with the public works crews and the parks maintenance crews to say, let's work together on this. We all have the same goals.
Finding your community, finding like-minded people is so good for us, especially this state of the world and finding your people, finding your tribe, helping local, like working locally, something that's going to make a difference in your own backyard. Just that satisfaction in giving back can't be overstated.
Well, what do you think? Is there a local conservation effort led by citizens in your area? Are you interested in starting a group of like-minded and ecologically spirited volunteers to help restore a local urban park or natural area near you? What questions do you need answered to get that going for you? Let me know in the comments below. And from the beautiful Shaker Lakes at the Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights border, my name is Alex, and I'm your CLE Urban Naturalist.